Are we doing anything about this dam removal today, or is this just for?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll put it in old and new business, and that's when it'll come up.
I would assume that that's what's happening.
Stick it there then.
18. Sounds
I
like a
love
plan.
this numbering system.
Yeah, it actually is
Very
really
handy.
helpful.
Whoever came up with that.
I think it was a Natalie and I, I think.
Very
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, you know, just.
It's really, it's.
You watch
I love it.
them shuffling papers and you start to
I
hyperventilate.
see,
Yeah.
Yeah, we did morning. Good afternoon. Sit down, we did.
Yeah.
Did you get it, Shauna?
Yes.
Okay. I need 8 copies. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
All right, we're gonna call the liquor control meeting to order.
Thank you.
Changes to the agenda.
I missed the adding the third class for the Vermont Country Store. So I added that into your packet.
Okay,
So it was just one more that they had that I didn't catch.
all
I've
right.
had it before. They're all renewals.
These are all renewals, right?
Okay.
Okay, looks like we got that four for one and the new business on Western Marketplace.
Am I looking at the right thing?
So the first one here
No,
is
I don't have that.
the hub.
I need a copy, please. Yes.
I don't think we
Can I have a copy of the liquor control
I
board?
did.
Oh, wait.
It's big and thick and fat and it's probably under your binder.
Yep, it looks like it.
Got it. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that.
So the first one on, first group is for the Weston Community Hub LLC, and that's just the hub at Walker Farm, Mildred's, Gladys's. And I put that their entity registration as a no for current. Their entity actually is currently in good standing with the state, but they had a little blip with the name, and I wrote to Marissa to ask her to check it out. It just says that their assumed name is inactive and expired. And it's just the business name of the hub at Weston. So I was just gonna ask you to review that and potentially give them a conditional approval pending that being resolved or better explained. And it may be that they changed the name, but that's the one that's still.
So in other words, what you're saying, we approve it, provided they get the name straightened out.
Correct. I won't place the approval in the portal until they've got it straightened out.
And do we write that on this, permit?
Yeah, I put the little asterisks there, and I said that there was pending a renewal of assumed name. It's underneath the whole list. So when you go to page 2,
Yeah, so this.
yeah, and then this is where I said,
There's your
you know, kind of a conditionally. And that is for their first class, third class, and their outside consumption.
We have a motion to approve the hub's license with correction of the name.
Yes, motion to approve the hub with the conditional, a conditional approval with pending the name correction that has been detailed.
I second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
I
For next group is the 4 that are controlled by the Vermont Country Store. For the store itself, they have a second class license, and that allows them to sell in the store for takeout. There you go. And beer and wine. And then they have 3 for Mildred's, the first class, the third class, and the outside consumption. The fees that are due to the town have been paid. We get paid just on the second class and the first class. And just as FYI, up until the last 3 or 4 years, we never dealt with third class. But it was handed down to us. So those are all renewals. Outside consumption, they did have last year. They built the porch and then they have
Right.
outside in the back.
Yep.
So we have to deal with the third class, but we don't get any money for it?
Correct. There is a little fine print somewhere that I can find for you for future reference if you want to consider it. That I think you can charge $50 for doing this. And before we get too excited about that, I'll confirm it because I could be wrong. But yeah, we took it on as an additional responsibility, but no compensation. So, and that's the one that has the biggest fee, which is like almost $1,100.
That all goes to the state?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just one sign sheet for all of Vermont country stores.
Correct. Yeah, I put them. There should be info sheets on everything. I didn't have too many letters, emails. I normally put an email for each subcategory for each
Okay.
ownership, but I didn't have them on the village.
This would be approval for all of them.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And then, yeah,
Are we
okay,
good
so
with Mildred's?
should we make a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the Vermont Country Stores second, first, third, and outside consumption license. April 28th, 2026.
Okay. Second.
Further discussion. All those in favor?
I
Aye.
The next set of three is the Weston Hotel Ventures. We had an issue last year where we didn't have their name right, so it had to wait a little. This year, the name's right. The location and DBA is the Weston, so this will be for the hotel. And it's first, third, and outside, also renewals. And we've been paid on the fee that we are given, which is $115. And as a side note, they have last year gotten approval on the bakery, but because it didn't open, they hadn't actually, the state hadn't approved them. And I did just get a separate license recently for the bakery, but those are done separately.
So that's not on here.
Correct. That was my side note, just
Okay.
in case you had a question about that one.
Need a motion for Weston Hotel Ventures.
Yeah, motion to approve the Weston Hotel first, third, and outside consumption.
Second?
Discussion.
I'm sorry, did Pam second that?
Yes.
All those in favor?
I
Okay, and then we go to,
Western Village Store.
Yep, I forgot their address. Sorry, it's across from the BCS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the
I
address
don't
is.
know the number, sure, but anyhow.
Probably like.
Right, I see it's just got the PO box.
666 or
It's
something.
660.
Okay. This again is just a renewal. We have them pay our fee. They have a second class just for the sale of beer and wine in the store. Purchase and take out.
Motion to approve the Weston Village Store second class license.
I second.
discussion. All those in favor?
I
Let's see here.
And then old business was simply me giving you a copy of the fact that the Weston Marketplace did complete their annual report and we have the paperwork.
for the limited liability company.
Correct.
I got it.
All right. So
Yeah.
that took care of that open item.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else for liquor control?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn the board.
Okay, and I'll just have you sign.
Second.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And the signatures are just needed
Second.
on the one that you had, Denny. There's a little signature page for that. Yeah.
Easiest in the whole packet.
Yeah.
And if you want me to recycle anything, let me know.
Yeah.
A lot of paper. It is a whole lot of paper. Yeah.
Sir?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank
All
you.
good.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, Kevin.
This is done.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, we're gonna call the regular select board meeting to order. We are recording. For the agenda.
I think that it says here that we were going to address the progress on addressing the formal complaint, which we did on Saturday already. So I think that should be stricken from the agenda.
Either under changes to the agenda or old new business, we're gonna be discussing some truck repair and what to do about that.
Okay.
Public comment.
Thank you. Taking years, literally years for the Weston Select Board to consider steps to better comply with the open meeting law. It's a shame they couldn't do it on their own. But watching a training video and adopting a policy isn't going to fix the problems. I sent a letter last April requesting a public discussion of the way the select board handles executive session. Because there were 3 brand new select board members, I included guides to the open meeting law from Secretary of State, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and the Vermont Select Board Handbook. My letter was deliberately misrepresented by one select board member as a complaint, making an absurd allegation, which it was not. That select board member determined by himself that this made-up complaint had no merit and declared on his own that there was no need for further discussion, and I received a condescending letter thanking me for my concern. Since then, recommendations from the town's attorney have been ignored, important items have been kept off select board agendas, and executive session has been further abused. Even after I brought 6 months of these incidents to the select board's attention on March 24th, their next meeting on April 14th resulted in formal complaints. The open meeting law violations are being addressed, but the response to the complaint about handling documents doesn't hold up against the recording of the incident or the explanation given on April 18th. The agenda for this past Saturday's special meeting was very vague, and the executive sessions were handled poorly. Somehow, after acknowledging previous violations and announcing steps to do better, the select board ignored the fact that using 1 VSA 313A1F requires 2 votes, and went into executive session claiming it was to receive confidential legal advice after a long conversation making it clear they would be doing no such thing. There are dozens of ways for the select board to start earning back the public's trust, just abiding by the statutes and following the recommendations that are so available. But the best and most effective way to start that process would be for Jim Linville to resign. He's been on the select board far too long to claim ignorance, and he's not incompetent. But as shown by agendas, minutes, and recordings of select board meetings, he has discouraged discussions and asserted authority where he has none. He has deliberately distorted and diminished the concerns of residents, abused executive session, and deprived the public of its right to be reasonably informed of select board activities. He has violated the public trust and neglected the duties imposed on him as a member of the Weston Select Board. He should step down, and those who have allowed or abetted his actions should step down too. As for Ms. Fitzpatrick's situation, all I know is everybody's got lawyers, it's costing the town time and money, and it's an obvious distraction. She should also consider stepping down, and I'll just go ahead and be the jerk who says it. Instead of putting another member's comfort, feelings, and reputation first and foremost, members of the select board should consider what's best for the town. This is a letter stating that Mr. Lindsay should resign. And the other one I have here is a records request. Ordinance with the statutes. I want copies of all communications, including emails and text messages between members of the Weston Select Board, as well as those between them and the Select Board's administrative assistant during the time period of October 1st, 2025 and April 28th, 2026. I'm including a thumb drive to receive those records, and I trust this request will be handled in accordance with those statutes. Please don't lose this. This is from the time I requested municipal records, and you guys made me do a federal Freedom of Information Act request. Thank you.
Record shows that Ken Paul has handed us some letters asking for certain copies and stuff, the thumb drive and over all of his requests. Anything else under public comment? Melissa.
As I've watched and listened to you all as a group of elected officials, it makes me sick. I'm appalled on how you conduct your business on and off camera, behind the public's back, and the misleading stories that you tell. If you cannot conduct a meeting better, unlike the past few months, perhaps you should all step aside. If my father-in-law was here, he would, for the past few meetings, he'd be pissed. He cared about this town and the people in this town. I am also respectfully requesting that his photo be put back on the wall as it was for many years.
I've been told the photo's hanging in the hallway going upstairs. Along with Otis's. That's what I've been informed. Apparently when they rehung the things after the addition, everything didn't get put back to the exact place they were, but it's hanging on the wall, I've been informed. Anyone else got public comment?
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, it's Lisa Yersha on Zoom. I just want to mention that unfortunately, while the public in the room is speaking, all of the paper shuffling and slamming of papers, etc., it made it darn near impossible to hear all that was said. I don't know if the board is aware that that microphone is sitting so close there, but missed half of the first resident speaking. So maybe moving forward, speaking a little bit louder so I can hear would be great. And also perhaps the paper shuffling just sort of kind of covered up a lot of stuff. I'd love to hear everything that's said at this and any future meetings. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So here's turn.
Hi,
Hi.
I'll try to, hopefully, can the folks on Zoom hear me if I speak like this?
Don't anybody move papers on the table or move up a little closer.
Okay, yeah.
Bring a chair with you.
Hi, everyone. Martina Barnes, I've been here several times before. Good to see you again. I'm the district ranger with the Manchester Ranger District on the covering the southern half of the Green Mountain National Forest. And we're making the rounds to different town select board meetings just to provide an update on projects happening in, your town specifically and around the area. And I also brought two staff with me tonight. They'll provide a brief overview of recreation and also timber projects happening. I also brought some papers just to leave with you. Annually, we provide a town update letter, usually in the early part of the year. And so I'll leave that with you, which just gives an overview of some of the projects happening across the whole forest. And then also, we are currently, is that just, who knows what that is, just someone entering or leaving?
Yeah.
Also wanted to leave with you it's a printout from our website, which it's called the quarterly proposed projects list. And so if you're looking for specific information about projects that are happening or being proposed on the forest, this way you'll be able to navigate to that website. And I just wanted to, before I hand it over, because I'm not going to get too much into specific projects, I'll leave that to Steve and Stacy to do, but just to let you, or I guess reassure you that in general, we did see some cuts to our staff through the federal government changes specifically last year with what was called the DRP, the Deferred Resignation Program. However, we are, despite there is also a larger reorganization happening with the U.S. Forest Service. But at our level here on the Green Mountain National Forest and the Manchester Ranger District, we're not anticipating any additional cuts to staffing. In fact, we're hopefully going to see some hiring. So as you may or may not know, we currently are only open to the public 2 days a week just because we don't have a front desk person. He took the deferred resignation program. So the hope is that over time we'll be able to hire some of those critical positions that we've lost. But the bottom line is we really, you shouldn't see any cuts to our services, whether it's recreation or projects happening to enhance our wildlife habitat, or logging operations are still, planned and ongoing as well. So any questions about the reorganization or changes to our office, or
How are you handling it?
oh, thank you for asking. I think locally what we're handling it well. I think I can't, I mean, I can only speak for myself. It, is a little hard before the reorganization was announced recently, a few weeks ago, and you may have seen it in the news, the uncertainty of not knowing what was happening, but now at least there's sort of a plan that's being put forth, and our leadership in Washington DC has been really transparent with the changes that are planned and trying to, it's, a tough time for some people who might need to move out from their current roles, but we should be pretty okay where we are.
I feel what you get asked all the time, money.
Yeah, our budget, or
Let me ask you first. Met with an engineer last week, and there's first three bridges on what they call Greendale Road. And he's gonna draw up a suggested spec for maintenance on them. And he said by doing the maintenance now, we should be able to get another 40 years out of them. And the first bridge has been put in there around 38, and I suspect the other two. And once we get the paperwork and stuff, is there any funds you might be able to help us with?
that's a tough question. I would need to talk with our forest engineer, but we get questions like this, as you know, probably can guess from other towns. And we generally tell them that I can give you resources for like other federal funding, but our forest roads budget is, extremely limited, and we, just are even, we have to keep up with like broken culverts and bridges.
Oh,
that
I
are,
understand. It
like,
just
so,
Doesn't hurt to ask. And
yeah,
if
but I
you
can
give us some
provide you, yep,
resources,
I can
maybe we
do
can
that.
chase some down. I'm just asking the question like I should.
Yeah, no, definitely will get that to you. Can email that to Patty or Shauna, or are you Patty?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I may pass it on to Steve to give a recreation program update.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Steve Pitlick, I'm the recreation program manager here on the district.
What is your last name? I'm sorry.
Pitlick, Pytlik.
Thank you.
So our priorities here on the forest are to provide public access to our lands. Opportunities that we have for recreation include our multi-use trails, our developed recreation sites. So we have like the Greendale Campground, Hatfield's another one, and then all of our dispersed recreation sites, which are like the shelters on the Appalachian Trail or like the roadside camping that's free. I can speak to some trail bridges. So Corridor 7 runs through town, and we're gonna be replacing so basically, we've been requesting bridge funding through the Great America Outdoor Act, and that funding is starting to dry up, but we're hoping it'll be reauthorized. But just north of the boundary is a bridge we replaced, and there's 4 more. So in total, we should have about 5 bridges on the snowmobile corridor replaced in the next, say, 3 years or so. But unfortunately, some of the funding that we've requested for those trail bridges it didn't come through last year. We usually request about like 9 or 10 bridges, and we're able to do construction on like about 3 of them per year. But like Martina was speaking about the overall road budget for the entire forest, I think a few years back it was about 80,000, and then it went down to like 40 or 50. So we barely have the funds to grade and brush our roads. We brought crews in from the White Mountain National Forest that actually could run those mowers on the side. So we're finding ways to piece it together, but unfortunately, some of the funding we have received was disaster relief funding from the floods in 2023. That's funding for one of these bridges. So that's like an example of some funding that has come through, but we've been pretty creative on making things work. On the hiring front, I can say at least we have a seasonal rec person starting soon. They'll help us manage like the Greendale Campground and trails, wilderness. We haven't seen hiring in 2 years. So finally that's lifted. It's only a seasonal position. We're hoping that some of our district folks, our permanent year-round positions will start opening up this summer as well. So, but yeah, a couple other things, the Greendale Campground had some flood damage. We did some work on that road, put some gravel on some of the sites. It's a small campground. This year, we're gonna add a scan and pay, a QR code to make payment for camping electronically. It's only $10 out there, but the fee tube with cash only. We're just trying to have less cash handling, that we have to go out there and collect it, drive around. So it provides a better option for the public to pay. A couple other things in the last few years, over by Moses Pond, we put in a couple trail bridges there that are on like a mountain bike multi-use trail. So we've been investing in bridges. They're just awfully expensive, especially the snowmobile bridges where the equipment, the groomers are getting wider. So we're building them are 12 at 13 feet in width. Those are the bridges we're trying to be creative with. We did get approval to use what we call a Yard King bridge. It's basically a prefab bridge that you just set in place with a crane. And the price of that is about half or a third of what a full like $150,000 bridge is. So even though they're rated for timber, they're a very heavy duty type bridge. We may be using those on our trails because they're more cost effective. And then that opens it up to being used for other purposes just besides snowmobiles. So that's one example of us trying to be creative with our bridge budget. It's using these temporary type bridges that have a higher rating. So yeah, any questions on the recreation front?
I got two. Does VAST kick in on any of these bridges that the snowmobilers are using?
Yeah, so a lot of our funding gets put into an agreement with them and then there's a match. So like 20% is the match. It can be in kind, but usually it's a mix of materials and labor.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll hire a contractor that will then take on that one bridge project, but then they'll chip in that 20% match.
Second one, maybe you don't know, the border patrol, why going up into Greendale? Are they mandated to go up there so many times a year or what?
The border patrol?
Yeah.
I haven't
What?
seen them.
Do you have
She's a
I think
witness.
they're just walking their dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously.
What's happening?
What do you mean?
There's
They went up
a
in
border
with
patrol
snowmobiles.
truck
They're
goes
just randomly, yeah, they
to
got
in and out of Greendale a lot, but it could just be someone who lives nearby that.
Border patrol.
It's gotta be like a
Well,
local.
Greendale, pretty good.
Okay,
But we
'cause
thought
we have a
maybe it
law
was-
enforcement that's the white and green truck and he was
No,
doing
it's
more.
just border patrol.
Okay, yeah, not us.
Don't worry.
We have one law enforcement.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Jeff Essig, and he has been on the ground a lot more, and we had a good winter, so he was out doing patrols, and we had a few, folks
I
talking
don't
about.
mind, I was just curious.
No, I-
more than anything.
They don't coordinate
When you
with
see border
us at
patrol,
all.
it's like, okay, it's Greendale.
Yeah.
Not many crossings there.
Right.
Unless you're really ambitious.
Well, thanks for the tip.
So anyways, just,
Yeah, I can't answer that one. Don't know.
I live there, that's why,
Okay.
so, just curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now too.
All right, thanks for
Stacy,
sharing.
I'll hold it so you can talk.
If I stand. So, hello, my name is Stacy Stratton. I'm the timber manager here on the Manchester District. And I'd like to start out by presenting to the board here, and there's a couple copies of our 5-year plan. And there's a couple copies there. And then like Martine can probably get you electronically too to put online. So some of our sales, we know, like the West River Timber Sale is not in Weston, but it's right on the border. It's in
It's on the
Mount
border of Mount Holly, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And so they were doing some harvesting off 155 this winter. They've been off the Greendale Road on the other side, harvesting, and it's it's a 5-year sale. So hopefully when they're done, things go back to normal. We've been doing some planting. Sometimes not enough trees grow back, so we go and we plant other species like oak and pine, try to get some diversity. So we've been doing a little bit of that. But if you look at the 5-year plan, we do have a sale that is, it's called Trout Club, and it's 2029. So probably 2028, you'll probably start seeing some white trucks around. So it's on the map here, and so it's a little bit into Land Grove, a little bit into Peru, but it's mostly in Weston, and it's a proposed sale. So like I said, we're gonna leave this map here. And so it's part of the early successional habitat. And what we're trying to do here is create the conditions for migratory songbirds and other wildlife that needs openings. Not big ones, like an acre, 2 acres, nothing bigger than 20 acres. Temporary, because we know it'll all grow back. And so that's what this is for. So it's a wildlife project. But to enact it, we have to cut timber. And now I have something I can sell. That's where I come in. So it's not a timber emphasis. It's not a timber project, but it just turns into the end of it. So it sounds odd, but that's kind of how we work at it. But so that'll be coming up. We'll survey boundaries, where they need to be done. So one of the big things we're looking for as we move forward with this, like I said, so 2020, we'll try to come here every year, when you invite us. And as we get closer to it, we'll bring, we'll go out and actually look a lot more and like fine tune things. But what we would like is like the neighbors or people that have been in this town for a while, like I don't know everything that's out here. And so I don't want to miss something. And so like right now, when we're in the planning stage, now is the time to like make suggestions or concerns. Archaeology, is there bad denning sites? Is there something like that? We're just looking for those things now. And so we can't cover every inch of ground, but all of you know every inch of ground out here. So that's kind of what we're looking for now. And again, you can see across on a 5-year plan, like, it's pretty aggressive, and it has been for like the last 6 years. So it's not like something new. It's been ongoing. We've been kind of ramping. I've been here 10 years and it's ramped up in the last 10 years. So it goes up a little bit every year. This will say the name of the sale, what project it is, and what town it's in, and then like a rough estimate of the scheduling for it.
Has anybody visited the Norway spruce plantation on Holt Mountain up there lately?
I don't think so. I haven't.
There's a lot of rot and blowdowns in there. A lot.
Yeah. And so like the West River sale has a lot of red pine in it and has, you know, and again, yeah, it gets that root rot and it's a native species, but as you know, it's the same genetic stock. It was planted the same time, so it's all the same age. So when one disease hits it, it hits all of them.
Yeah.
And so by managing some of these openings, like you're, you know, not opening, but you know, these plantations, we can reestablish some native hardwoods, which is a lot more resilient to, you know, what's happening with the climate than a red pine plantation. I'll take note of that, and then maybe that's something we'll take a look at to see if there's some management option that we can do in there. What road is it on?
You go up Lang Grove Road and there's a side road that goes up Holt Mountain Road. We call
Okay,
it.
yeah, so I think that might be in this project. So, in the Trout Club project, I think Holt Mountain is.
Yeah.
But we might want to get to it quicker.
Right.
You know, again, it's like not like you have to cut everything, but you know, we can sometimes salvage timber, you know, because society needs it, especially red pine is telephone poles, and we've been breaking a lot of those in all the storms the last couple of years. So that's something that, you know, people look for. Any other questions about timber sales? It doesn't have to be here in town, it could be any place else, or, you know, if anybody has something.
How are you dealing with the fact that there's fewer and fewer mills to take the product?
So we've been pretty lucky. You know, when we, you know, around here, it's not so difficult to move wood because, you know, it's not as far to haul, but boy, down in Stamford or Pownell, you know, it's a 7.5 hour round trip to like the mill, you know, the IP mill. That is a lot harder to sell because it just takes so long. But the local mills that are here have, you know, we meet with them once a year usually, and they'll show some preference to loggers that are harvesting off the forest. You know, they might give them extra tickets to get to the mill, or they might offer a little bit more price because of the further distance they haul, because they want to keep the forest doing what it's doing. But we get, you know, I think, you know, if you look at the loggers that we have and just the truck drivers that we have, every year when one retires, we're one less. We're not gaining any. You know, that's a hard business to be in. I mean, 30 below zero out there, changing a tire, you know, it's tough work, you know, but the new technology, people just sit in a vehicle now with the radio on, the AC or the heat. And they don't get out because they can't afford the insurance for workers' comp. So if you stay in a tractor, your insurance is less. That's why you see much mechanization. You don't see the old fashioned person out there with a plaid jacket on and a chainsaw and a cable skidder. Those days are almost gone. We still have some, and we try to give them work, but they can't afford the insurance that they have people working for them. So the answer to that is we do our best. We offer the sales that are strategic, you know, like it was like, I don't just offer like one species. I try to offer a mix of saw timber and pulp and pine and hardwoods and, you know, something that they can market. And that's the biggest thing. If the price of gas stays at $4 a gallon and diesel $6, firewood's gonna be pretty good business. And that's what happens. They'll cut a lot of pulp for firewood. So I hate to say that they'll do well that way because it's terrible that they have to do it that way, but we have ways of, you know, and we've been helped by the public for that. So anything else?
What, wait, you said you're only open 2 days a week, right?
Yes.
What days?
Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays
I
and
mean,
Thursdays.
even, but if you need something, you know, we're there 5 days a week. It's just that we're not like officially open. Like,
Manual
Oh, you
Sure.
are,
we
okay,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
someone
Like someone doing
sitting at
Right.
the
the
front
projects.
desk
Okay, all
every
right.
day.
I mean, we
Okay.
check that phone
Mondays and
constantly, you know, if there's a message on it, so we can get back to somebody, or, you know, like I said, you know, like through Martina, you know, if you want to contact me with questions, you know, I'm there, usually 4:10 and sometimes 5.
You guys are on the left going down into Manchester, right?
Yes.
That's what I remember.
Or the, yep.
Yeah.
That's across from Bromley Manor.
Got it.
or the perfect wife, which isn't there anymore. you know,
Yes,
the restaurant.
Yeah.
And our fire danger is pretty high right now, thinking up to level 4 today. It's dry. So if you say there was a fire up north, I mean, I don't want to get us too
Yeah.
far off track, but you know, there are
Yes.
forest fires happening.
I'll leave a map with you guys.
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Feel free to come anytime.
Of course, oh, yeah, thanks. And I'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Good to see you
No
again.
problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, did I say it's okay?
Here, it's, yeah, it's the wires.
Yeah, it's because I
There we go.
moved it before trying to get it closer to her.
All right, number. I guess we're on now. Went through interview process. of 4 different applicants. Yeah. We thought we'd try Jason for our new road foreman on a trial period and see how 90 days works out. Go from there. Number 6, Act 181 and W.
You said that we don't have to make a decision on this, right?
Correct.
We don't have to make a decision on this. But we can kick it down a little bit
Yeah,
more.
to the end of May.
Mhm.
I watched a bit of the wind hall meeting that they had on 181, and it sounds like they're changing quite a bit
Correct.
currently, like
So
right
hopefully
now.
The map is
Hopefully
totally
is gonna be
changing.
changed,
Right.
and the
So-
timing on the first 2, I think is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, I went to a meeting and one in there that Chris Merle
Oh,
Oh,
have
you
you-
What's that?
Oh, great.
had. And there are roughly 35 people there
Okay,
and I'd say about 10 of them was from Weston. And of all the people there, not one spoke up in favor of Act 180.
okay.
And Chris realizes, and the way he talked, they understand that the people that wrote it have a major problem on their hands and they've got to go back to the drawing board and redraw it, do something different. A lot of towns don't want it. Wind Hall dead set against it. I mean, the way it was drawn up, they're going to take away their fairgrounds over there. That's well over 100-year tradition. They want to fill it with housing. Still say, till they get some industrial jobs in the state, you know, just the small businesses are not gonna float year-round homes. They can't pay the wages. It costs, but that's their directive up there. And they said something about 2 years down the road and hope they don't play the game where, well, pass it now and we'll make changes, because that never works. So we'll see what happens. Anybody else got any questions?
It seems like we have plenty of time now in
Yeah.
terms of these tiers and all the questions around that, because,
Yeah, they're gonna have to take time.
We were under a date,
yeah, but
Constraint
it's
before,
all pushed back,
right.
it looks like.
right?
But approve 3. I had new eyes put in last fall and I ain't used to these things yet. Public meeting for
Zoning, zoning bylaws. We haven't set a date for that yet.
that's what this is for.
Right, okay. I went back and I didn't think we had, okay.
It says that we should just do it before a regular meeting.
But we need 15 days notice,
Yeah.
right? And it needs to be published in 2 different places, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
So maybe not the next meeting, but the next one, since we're already meeting early for the next meeting.
I'd do it on the 26th of May.
Yeah.
Okay, and Patty, you're saying that we need to have it published in the newspaper too? In addition to the 15-day notice?
That's what, I believe that's what they said, that we
Yep.
can publish it in the newspaper.
Do we know how long it'll take?
Usually it's not very long.
So like 6:30 would.
Yeah, 6:30 would do it.
May 26th, did you say? Is that it?
Yeah, somebody wanna make a motion for that?
Sure, I make a motion to schedule the public meeting for the zoning bylaw update on May 26th at 6 p.m.
I'm sorry, what time?
6:30 p.m. on May 26th.
A second.
All those in favor?
I,
Well, the new member pointed out the problem. The morons.
Okay,
Wayne, we can hear you.
Said something about new member pointed out something.
You weren't on mute. They heard that.
All right, we talked about filling up the salt shed a little bit, if we could get the salt. Patty contacted them and they said if we ordered before the end of the month, we could get salt at this year's prices. Yeah, I talked to Jason and thought that we could hold 3 to 4 loads, so we ordered 3.
And, okay, yeah. And how many tons is in a load?
It depends whether a triaxle or a tractor trailer.
Okay. Are we gonna, we talked about doing 450 tons in total for the year,
Well, that's
right?
for 26, 27.
26,
season.
27, okay. Yeah. My old notes right here.
Let's see. There's mine. I got a ton of paperwork tonight, so
yeah.
bear with me.
So, do you have a little scoop?
I have it right here.
You have it, right?
You've got the
Oh, you have
paperwork for
something
the
different
painting?
than I have.
There's, the proposal, I know you put it on the desk, on the
Yeah.
table here,
Here's
but,
the proposal and then what it
Here it is.
asked me for the cost the last time.
Oh,
right,
right here.
Yeah, I did that one day. Looks like it wasn't done since.
the expenditures. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize it was that far back. I thought we were doing every 2 sides every couple of years, but I don't know the history there, Denny.
I think it was spread out more than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they found something from 2016 where we paid about $6,000, 7 or 8 grand here. Move these both of these.
how much you got for painting?
Is both of them together?
One was
13
a deposit, one was final.
Okay, so 8 and 5 is 13. There we go.
That's
so-
the last time we had any charges hit that account for payment.
Thank you.
How much you got in the fund right now?
Let me go check real quick. $29,632.
Then this is another bid on this, right?
No, what you have, no, that is what we paid the last time that Kim was able to pull records.
Oh, okay.
2016, we did pay 13,000, and I'm assuming that was 2 sides as well of the school. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your opinion on it, Brian? You,
I mean, the company itself, good. I have to be honest and say, I'm not sure how that number stacks up, right?
Hi.
It seems high to me, but I don't know. I mean, I need help with comparison there.
Is this not something we put out to bid?
I think we did. I mean,
Put it out to
only-
bid
they
and
were the
only one
people
company
that
got
came
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
we have a hard time getting people to bid on anything now. Would you care to contribute anything, comments, Barry? Barry does.
Have you got a painting background? Yeah?
A little bit.
Okay, well, how come we don't have a bid from you?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
It's 10 years at the rate inflation's been going. It's enough, but I don't think it's outrageous. I mean, I've heard some of the prices people are getting to just paint the inside of a house.
Yeah, there's some truth to
Are
that.
they dealing with lead over here?
Yes, so it's a
Yeah.
whole lead setup,
That's where the expense comes in.
and then scraping and yeah.
Priming and everything, yeah. Do we have to make a motion on this?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
It's a lot of money.
Just checking. No, I mean like today.
Well, see, most of these usually got a 30-day or 15-day quote price.
I didn't see that on the bottom. I shouldn't read the whole thing because you sent it here, so I didn't get it.
The other thing is, if we were to go shopping for another price, it's not really fair to these people. Their price is already out there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did put it out to bid and
All right,
so we
it says
got
that
some.
one of 30% deposit and 30% when half is completed and the final payment is due upon completion.
Alright,
I
so
mean, we don't really have any other, isn't it like against, I mean, isn't it bad practice once we had this put out to bid to go and put it out to bid
That's what Danny
again?
was just saying, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, so I just said,
okay, sorry.
so can we have a motion?
I make a motion
From
to accept the proposal from Stebbins Spectacular Painting to the proposal was given for 2026 for the little school exterior here in Weston. I propose that we accept the proposal. I make a motion that we accept the proposal of $26,600.
Is there a second
I second.
discussion? It says client the little school, but being yours on paying for it, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Absolutely.
Kim, you still in there?
They're aware of the dates that we need to work around, just so everyone knows with the little school. So if we give them this okay now, hopefully we can get one of those dates in, I believe it's August. August, they're closed for 2 weeks.
We just approved payment contract for the little school,
Okay.
and they're gonna want a check for 30% of it down.
Okay,
So do you want us to figure that and get it in tonight?
yeah, I can print the check and have it ready to go.
Okay,
You want me to,
do the 30% so we get it right.
okay, and what's the number? What's the total?
26,600.
26,000.
And if they get their money, they'll post on their agenda a little.
$7,980.
Just a minute here. It's 7,980.
I think the total. You're adding it to the 26.
Yeah.
Denny, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
wouldn't it be proper at this point, before we cut a check, to make sure that we have a certificate of insurance for this company and possibly, ID, etc.?
So one of the things that we can send out, either email or ask them to come in and hand it in, is we do have a a non-employee agreement that we're asked to have completed, and so that could go out requesting the proper
Insurance.
coverage is noticed in a certificate of insurance, and then when they present it, we can present them with their check, however you prefer me to do that.
Well, why don't we do it this way?
Sure.
We'll prove it tonight, you hold a check until you get that
Right.
certificate back. You can put a roll note in, when this is signed and we receive it, we got your check.
Yeah, and it's a package that we send out to a lot of contractors, and we haven't had difficulty with it.
Yep, that makes sense. I asked them, to add 'em.
Okay,
Yeah, I definitely asked them, they confirmed that they do, but
Right.
we need a copy.
they have it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
have insurance.
And their lead
Yeah,
safe
did I?
certification,
They
do you get
are,
a copy?
yeah.
Yeah, we get that,
Yep.
but they said this, they said in the scope that they have all the insurance. Or in the bid.
Denny, I came up with $34,339.81.
That's what I come up.
Excellent, I like it.
I missed that number, but you guys have it, so that's good.
Katie, you're up with your welcome letter, King.
I am. Okay, so I have some things. For you. For you.
Thank you.
You guys wanna see it too? Okay. Here you go. This is for you. And then in following with that, we'll go with this. Here. Second. There you go. For you and for Patty. So the idea is that we are coming up, and when I say we, it's like Kim, a couple of us, all working together to come up with a packet that gives all the information about what you need to do when you're settling in here in Vermont, in Weston. And it's a kind of two-pronged attack. What I've been giving you right now is the first draft of the welcome letter for new residents or property owners. And then following that would be a list of everything that you need to be aware of as far as transfer station stuff and tax bills and ways to apply for zoning needs and on and on and on, emergency services and what we offer for the library, the school, just really going into detail. But this is a brief, general, gentle welcome to our community. And I'm curious of your thoughts.
So I guess if anybody's got additions or stuff they wanna do, get hold of Katie and she'll work them in.
I will.
Okay, yeah.
So my-
Oh, here, Kim, I changed it a little bit. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so my question is, we don't reference within the cover letter, anything to say within this packet is?
Nope, so I have another page
Okay,
that I just wanted to do this first and then I'll come with the second page in 2 weeks.
okay.
Just wanted to have first, but I already have that, it has everything bullet points, so it's like what you gave me plus stuff that I've read.
That we want residents.
Yeah, so and then plus I've taken stuff out of the town plan and different things and the stuff that Shauna gave me.
Okay, and then we'll just send one letter.
It'll
won't
be like, yeah, it'll just,
be about elections and then.
no, everything is in there about the elections. Yeah, everything that you gave me
Okay,
is already in there in bullet points. I just have to add a couple more things and I wanna list all of our recreational spaces plus all the museums and all the places.
Great.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
great.
That's great.
And then in moving forward with that, we have a client proposal that I asked to be given to me for, we have to be ADA compliant for our website. We start spending our money, once we spend $1 million of government money, we have a compliance audit. That goes on in a lot of different things. So our policies will be audited, all of the money, but really also the website. The website has to be ADA compliant for the state. And we have to have that done before we spend the money for the dam. We don't have that in the budget right now because we level funded. But this is a proposal for what it will cost.
Waiting room. Peggy, someone in the, Patty, someone in the waiting room.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is a scope of work of what it will cost to bring us completely up to up ADA compliant, but this also goes hand in hand with trying to,
Go ahead, sorry.
it's okay. This goes hand in hand with trying to make our town, the website, everything a little more user friendly and accessible, and to cut down on the hours that the town clerk and the assistant town clerks are spending answering phone calls and talking to people on the phone when there could be a list of information on the website, links, and full usable interface that will make Kim and everyone's life a little bit easier because it'll streamline everything. And so this is just something to look at, to keep, think about, kick down the road a little bit, but really, we need to talk about a budget for this because it has to be done within the year.
Yeah, and it was actually supposed to have been done, I think, by now.
Yeah, it was supposed to have been done by now. So we're not ADA compliant right now, and so it's kind of imperative.
Is ADA compliance something that we could potentially do on our own?
No.
To the website, we have to hire somebody.
Nobody has I mean, I've already asked people locally.
Mhm.
You have to have an incredible amount of knowledge and know how to do that. It's pretty complicated.
I think what we're talking about being ADA compliant is somebody with visual or hearing limitations. Visual will be more impactful, being able to know what's on the website, but not being able to see it. And so some of them are voice activated, or you'll have additional services that you can reach, just like any other thing that becomes ADA compliant.
Yeah.
So that's not anything I know how to program. We're not computer.
Do other town websites have this? Or
Yes,
they've never
they
gotten-
do.
Yeah.
They all do. I mean, I've been doing some, not all of them, but a lot of them do. I've been doing a lot of research and comparing. And it is a full user-friendly website that allows you to do everything that you need to do. That would take away from the pushing paper part that Kim and everyone here has to do.
Why don't you, Katie, find somebody that can do it? Get a ballpark figure.
I did, it's right here.
Do they maintain it too?
Yeah, they maintain it too. So this is it. So this is a full proposal of the scope of work, what has to be done, and
Good night.
good night. Full scope of work of the proposal, what has to be done, the project investment, and how it will play out over a period of.
So that's a pretty big range. That's just a range.
That's the range of what we decide ultimately what we want to do. It is, her name is Abby Childs. She's lives in Ludlow. I think.
So it sounds like we need to go back to our budget, see what's in the budget, and then if we're gonna decide to move ahead.
We only have $1,500 in the budget.
Okay, so.
We have to
make that decision,
we have to
but
make
then-
that choice.
And then see if there's money out there and then put together a formal.
Well, yeah,
proposal
but
to
she
send out.
said, so I talked to Abby and she's like,
Go out
I'm
to
more
bid.
than happy to come in and just talk to you about your needs and then formulate it from there. This was just an initial
Mhm.
overview of what has to happen in order to be ADA compliant. And I just felt like we should have the full scope of view of what
Yeah, this is great.
is
It's a great
down the
start.
line.
It's a great start. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have we ever gone backwards? And I'm sorry, going backwards, have we ever had anyone else look at this?
I asked somebody at a conference last fall
Okay.
about their product, and they gave me a $4,400 quote to bring it up to be ADA compliant, and then there were ongoing costs
Right.
of, I don't remember, but it was not inexpensive to do. They said that that would give you a couple of years for each of the boards to have their minutes and their agendas. And, so it was probably, I felt like it was actually gonna dumb us down a bit.
Okay,
Because we have multiple years out there. Do we
Yeah.
need to? Not necessarily, but you know, it's out there.
But it's
So
there.
I didn't look at Abby's proposal, so I think anything's going to be expensive. I
Leanna's over there.
don't know what you think about using the spam folder, but spam fund. But
I'd be curious to talk to other towns that are and see who they use, just because there might be people out there who
Yeah.
specialize in it, who might be more
Absolutely.
efficient and.
right,
No,
yeah, so
Mhm.
that's an awful lot of money.
It is.
Understandably.
Yeah.
I thought 4,400 was an awful lot of money.
I think maybe we don't really know very much about it.
Well,
I think this, so I don't really know if really saying like it's a lot of money is necessarily like a correct
I
assumption.
go to towns every day, so I'm gonna start asking.
Do it.
around
that would be
and
great. You had some
Thank
connections
you.
there.
Yeah,
That would be fabulous.
That would be
That
great.
would be
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
When you go onto a website to do purchasing, I bet that Denny doesn't do this. You will notice on the website, sometimes on the bottom left, there's a little round thing. And it sometimes looks like a gingerbread man or I don't wanna say a piece of pie, but it has some sort of graphic there. And when you click on that, it can lead you to ADA accessible.
Oh, interesting. I need to start looking at that.
yeah, I've never
So,
noticed.
I've just started noticing them, so I don't know that the whole world is truly compliant yet, but it is something that we should be focusing.
Yeah, and I think it would be, yeah, I was
And-
thinking the same thing, what others do, yeah, take a look at it.
We've had the website that we have had for about 10 or 11 years. It cost us $500, because I knew somebody who would do it and she just wanted to do it. It's so cheap but it's been very functional. We need something that's easy to load our agendas and minutes and things so that we can keep those current. We need to change announcements. And otherwise, it's a resource that we currently we're always telling people the forms on the website, but they will call anyway. And that's fine, but the more we can put out there and
Yeah,
reference.
And then right, and make it more user friendly, absolutely. I'm completely on board with that, we need to update it, but yeah, we gotta look at.
We should look at options.
Yeah.
And where we're gonna get the money from.
Right, yeah, for
I
sure.
got a money tree out there. I've just been picking it up.
All right, well, that's a good
Alright.
start.
Thank
So
for
if you-
doing
So
that.
this gets on our list.
Yeah,
If you have information regarding this, have Patty put it on for next agenda if you need
okay,
a month, or wait till the end of May.
And Patty, you might know some other, right, other towns that you didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the other town you were working with, but, There
Other
was one.
websites. and-
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So if you have any information, share it,
Okay.
please, that would be great.
absolutely.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay, Brian, you're number 11, right? on.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I don't
Oh my
have
God.
too much updates to give you. I have reached out again to Mark Pickering. He is, he was on vacation this week, and I had reached out to him a week and a half prior. I haven't heard back, so I'm gonna follow up with him. But I did speak with his assistant, who was kind enough to turn me on to Kristen Driscoll, who is the traffic operations manager, and she would be the person that could give us more information around this. So my short answer is, I'm not
You're
gonna
not
get
ready.
deeper into it until I have a little bit more information. What the outline that I gave you last time still stands in terms of, the estimate of what it would cost us and all that, but what I was specifically asked by this group was to go back and see if there was what was it, rent to buy option, and I don't know that there is, but anyway, getting more on that, so hopefully by next meeting.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What attracted you to Weston?
What attracted me to Weston? To be completely honest, three things. My house, because I looked at my house and I said, oh, I love it, and I knew Weston, but the theater that was always here, and the whole look of the downtown, which I know is what you're gonna come after me for.
Yeah, because this is
I gotta
supposed to
be
be,
honest.
this is supposed to be a country town.
It is, and I will not change
They
that.
keep filling it full of more signs and signs,
Yes.
and then flashing lights are at the bottom of the pit, as far as I'm concerned. And there's a leash law in town. Somebody said something about dogs getting hit.
That was
Well, there's
me.
a leash law in the village, so if there's a dog loose, the owner is not doing the dog a favor
Oh, I completely agree with that.
within the town limits. So
Alright, so
I've been here for years and that's always a complaint. If you get it down to 30, then they're gonna be wanting for 25, and then they're gonna wanna go lower. people have no idea what speed really is,
Yeah.
and they gotta have something to complain about, so that's the easiest thing.
So the thing the reason that I'm passionate about this, let me just
Yeah,
get my,
please,
get my thought. The
take-
reason I'm
take it.
passionate about this is
Go
because
ahead.
when I started doing some research on it, I found out two things that I think, and I mentioned this, the last meeting. These signs are proven to be 80% effective at people hitting their brake when they see it. It's, so right now we have a sign that comes in that says 30 miles per hour. Everyone reads it, doesn't think, but if there's something underneath it, it does flash that says 30 miles per hour, you're doing 35. As soon as they see that little flash, it's not huge and big and neon, but it's about that big. 80% effective in people hitting their brake. I think that's really important. And the other feeling that I have about it is there are other small, beautiful towns like Weston, I had the list last time, but we could just rattle them all off the year. And they all have these. And they have them because they find them to be effective. Is it gonna stop everybody, Denny? Of course not. There's people who are gonna blow right past it, but I think it's gonna give the average person who's not really thinking because they're daydreaming, because they're looking around at the beautiful scenery, a chance to kind of reset, think, and maybe hit that brake.
Well, a few years ago, wasn't that long ago, we paid for a speed study,
I remember it.
Yeah,
and we got a letter back.
That said, people weren't speeding.
Kim,
It was done in October at peak foliage, when there's lots of people in town and they wander around, and you'd have to be an idiot not to press on the brakes and slow down in the village. So I really think that the timing had an impact on the results, which obviously came back and said it wasn't that bad.
Right.
But I think the timing could have been done differently, because when you have a lot of pedestrians, people thankfully slow down, but other times of the year, they fly.
well, it goes back to the same old story. You do a quiz or survey, and depending when you do it, how you do it, you can make it say anything you want.
It's true.
so I have a question. Is it just the flashing lights that you're completely against? Because I don't like flashing signs either. They're annoying. They do work, however, but really, I do speak for the dogs, and I understand you're like, well, the owner did a wrong thing. That doesn't matter. People live their life. Things, Jenny, can I please finish?
Yeah.
Thank you. I understand that you really don't want it.
I
I'm
really don't
not,
want any
hold on.
more signs in there.
I
of
understand,
anything.
right, you've made that very clear, but also there are general safety issues that should be addressed in my concern. I don't think that it should just be thrown out just because you don't like it.
Well,
And that's what's, and and I respect you and with peace and love.
we don't all agree on everything, that's
No.
all there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
shocked. I told Brian about this, I saw it up at Dartmouth, if you've been to Dartmouth Hospital, you come up to the stop sign and has a little embedded red lights that then just flash at you, which in the wee hours of the morning, or it might have been night, I don't remember, was very startling.
Around the stop sign they were.
Yeah, so they were around the stop sign, and they just brought it to my attention, and it may be at the Bennington location hospital, I don't remember that one, that where they had a speed bump or a crosswalk, they also had them. So you could also make a deal, Denny, where you say one sign in, one sign out. Like if you're gonna put up a new sign, then you gotta take an old sign out, then you'd have the net of the same sign.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this wouldn't be a new sign. I mean, so you'd have the sign that says 30, right? That exists right now, and it would go right underneath that.
There's a new sign, that's.
On the same pole. Yeah, but it's on the same pole. It's not a new pole.
Signs or
It's not a new pole. Post, okay. Anyway, all good. I'll get more information to come on that.
But what about, so we're in a school zone now because there's a school there. What is the difference between, like, there are there are like lights that come on when you're coming into a school zone, they say school zone and they flash.
I guess that's on Lawrence Hill. It's not on 100 is my guess.
That's true, but I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
The school property doesn't even go to Route 100.
Right, it's on Lawrence.
Right, I'm saying there's school property here, then there's private property in between.
Yeah.
So
There's kids running around.
how
Either
do
way.
I move forward with this subject?
Well, Ryan's getting more research.
Okay, you're gonna get more research.
I got this.
Just one,
I'm
okay,
on
you
this.
got
This
it.
is not dying, believe me. We're getting more information.
Chairman?
Amazing.
Denny, I have a quick question for Brian. Has
Sure.
anyone?
Who's that, Lisa?
Yeah, hi.
Okay,
Has
hi.
anyone actually driven 30 into town and somebody stood inside the 30 zone? Because I think that it's very misleading to say that everybody's speeding. 30 is fast, we know it. And so I just wondered if anybody took the time to physically stood on the other side. I'm not saying with a radar gun, but maybe a radar gun to really see what 30 looks like, because 30 is faster than you want it to be in front of the Vermont Country Store. On
Completely
the
agree.
other, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
completely
that was
agree
just
that 30 is faster than we think. I completely agree, Lisa. No, I mean, we did a study that Kim mentioned. The study was done a while ago. I don't know if you heard Kim. So that's the study that was done.
And
I
it
believe
and it
Woodville
showed that
stuff.
there was no problem. The second issue is, has there been any reported accidents with pedestrians being hit, dogs hit, anything in the last year that we can pull from to suggest that this is a necessary item in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, anything like
Yes,
that?
in terms of people being hit or animals being hit, not that I'm aware of, in terms of cars coming very fast into town and, going around a curve and going into the green, at least 5 a year.
Isolated snow.
No, don't read
This
that.
is
Will Freeman.
Will Freeman would like to say something.
As you know, we are at the south end of the village and not just the north end of the village. I have clocked with radar the speed of cars coming and going. And often, different times of day, and it depends on where those signs are, but they speed up as they think that they're at the edge of town. So they are going sometimes 50 plus. And it's going to be on you all, and it's going to be on all of us in town if there is a safety issue. And that's going to be liability. That all of this discussion has happened, but somehow we haven't found a way to solve the problem. And I don't know what the solution is, but it is a problem. And I just hope and pray that no one ends up being hurt or maimed. But if you deny that there's a speed problem, that is just putting your head in the sand. That is definitely a speed problem, and it exists definitely at the south end of the village. And I hope you take that as a real concern, because it is been going on for years. And other past members of the select board have come out, they have witnessed it for themselves. So I invite any of you to come at different hours to the south end of the village so that you can witness it for yourself.
Well, hi, this is Deb Granquist, and I would like to just add for some of my older friends who live on Markham Lane. And when they are walking out of Markham Lane and they want to cross the road, there are cars coming from the north really quickly, and you can't see them because there's the curve there. And so it is tough. And now that I am becoming the age of my older friends, I understand that, because you really almost have to run across the road there to be safe.
Thank you, Deb. Yep, I agree with that piece.
I mean, the town requires a bunch of screenings on different projects and stuff. Cause they don't like to see what's going up, but they have no problem putting up more ugly signs.
That's not the
That's
same
signs
thing.
I'm against
That's not the
the
same
most.
thing, Denny. If you're talking about screening issues, that's about privacy and about people existing within a business area, town, and having a residential area there. This is about safety. This is about not changing the town. This is about addressing something that makes people feel uncomfortable. I have seen a dog hit right there. So, and it was 3 years ago. It wasn't in the past year. If you want to go and, have statistics being drawn in general, and I have sped through there before. I think we could do a 3-month trial.
Well, you gotta get more information.
Yeah.
More information to come.
All right.
And the studies that were done before were flawed. And I think
You know, everybody
thank
has
you,
an
Will.
opinion. Hey, Martha?
Did anybody ever think about a crosswalk?
Yes, can't do it.
Why?
State highway.
Oh, right, okay.
And far as your.
Sidewalks.
Pardon?
Oh,
They have to come and go to sidewalks.
and we don't have any sidewalks.
Well, if the state would do what they're supposed to do, you'd have a blacktop sidewalk. Because I do believe there's a regulation that when they repave the other side of that white line, it's supposed to be a 30-inch wide.
30-inch. Wow.
And so that would be your sidewalk.
By your house, it's all
and
that.
that was an 88.
And so, you know, there's a lot of laws on the books.
Yeah,
whether
some
they
of them
get
are
followed or
impossible
not.
to put in.
You know, you gotta get the right people to push the right ones.
But to your point, and you're talking about the crosswalk, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Martha,
Martha, hi Martha. Oh, this is your mother.
that's my mother.
I'm so sorry. I was mixing you up with someone else. But to your point, you know, that sidewalk and if, or that crosswalk, if it were at where most of the businesses are, the two country stores, that's why I also feel that this sign coming into town, right, where Will is saying, can really slow down all of that. And we actually recently got a letter from Natalie at the Weston regarding the bakery opening and her saying that, you know, there's gonna be potentially more traffic there. So I think she was requesting us to move a sign, you know, a little further back. So I'm just saying all of this comes together at the same time. So let's see.
I think.
Hey, Brian, this is Jenny Server. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who is this?
Jenny Server. I live on
Okay.
Markham and I walk on Route 100 every
Jenny,
day,
yes, hi,
several
Jenny.
times a day with my dog.
Yep.
And people are going much faster than 30 all the time. And I'm listening to you guys. I'm so happy to hear most of you really wanting to have the speed sign. But I'm struck by everyone saying, has anyone gotten hurt? Have any dogs got? I mean, are you going to wait till someone does? It really sounds ridiculous to say it hasn't happened yet, so we don't need it. It really is terrifying. And the sign is so small. And guess what? If people want to continue to speed, they can. So it's not, if you're a person who likes to drive 50 through town, guess what? You still can. It's not hooked up to the police department. You're not going to get a ticket. And if that's how you feel about driving through town, then do that. But every town has that small thing that tells you how fast you're going. And most people I talk to say, I'm so glad it's there. It reminds me to slow down.
Yeah.
Okay, and also
Thank you, Jen.
thank you. And in the meantime, if we need to have more research done on this and there is a timeline, like we can't just, get the sign in a couple of months. Maybe you have to I don't know what the process of this is. Yeah, but we've talked about contracting a sheriff to come and have a presence. That is an option coming into the summer. Just a thought to make an effort and let the community know that we are aware that there are concerns about this and that we take it very seriously.
Yeah, well, let me just add this too, to both your point and Jenny's point. So one of the things that this radar speed sign would give us is statistics. And so it would tell us back, it would say, the people that have sped through town, it's been mostly during these hours.
Right.
So if we got that and we decided to put some money into having someone come in and do that sort of thing, I'm not saying we're going there, but I'm just saying if we wanted to, that would give us some statistics about the best time to do that. So anyway,
We've been
I
through
think
that
we've
before.
killed this. Yes.
And you don't want the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to that. I'm just
I
saying.
am
This is just
goddamn
information.
serious
I
about
mean,
that.
Yeah, I know.
I know,
I've
but
heard there's some to it.
All right. Yeah, moving forward.
Should we move forward?
Yes.
Yes.
Building door, town office, we have an estimate. Kim has worked with the builder, decide what door should be in place. And like I said, it's hard to find anybody do small jobs. This guy's done 2 or 3 for us, and he wrote up an estimate. Anybody got a copy of it?
Yep, we have a copy of
Yeah.
it right here.
Kim, you have anything you wanna add on this?
Yes, I spoke with him yesterday and, because Will had said you can't have a screen door that comes inward. And that won't be compliant. Aaron was at Home Depot and was gonna look at an alternative. And then he called today with a better one, which is just to put, the ability to open the side lights. So you won't have any screen door. To complicate matters, you'll have the main door, which will have glass above the halfway point, and then you'll have the side lights, similar to what we have now, which can open for ventilation.
And they would have screens on them, obviously.
And so I thought that was a fabulous solution. He said the
Okay.
estimate would be about the same.
Okay.
Cost overall. So with the estimate that you have, it has some money down for the screen door, and that would probably go away, but there may be additional costs on the actual door.
Is what he's proposing ADA compliant?
Yes,
Is
it
that
opens outward and it's a 3-foot door.
So it's full
gonna be
ADA
a
compliant.
36-inch. He's gonna have to do a little work at the sill, I think he said, to.
Yeah.
So, this is Deb Granquist. I just want to throw out, having gone through this at the library, I don't think it has to do with ADA. It's actually public safety. It's the fire department. It's like the door has to go out so that, people can get out of the building. So,
It was
fire
brought-
marshal.
Yeah, sure, but it was also brought up to us as an ADA issue. It's very difficult to get in and out of this doorway with the door opening inward when someone's in a wheelchair. So this was a win-win on 2 levels.
Gotcha, okay.
Katie, get back.
Oh, so this is the total here, not
Yes.
this. Why is this not there?
Oh, maybe just the way it was copied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It was copied on top of that.
Yeah.
I get it.
Bear in mind that
Oh, yeah.
189 is just estimate, as it says right at the very top.
Yep.
Like putting on roll up screens in would be a little more.
Well, I was waiting for Katie.
Yeah.
Hard to not talk when there's. You manage all the time, you're thinking, right?
I won't say that. I won't fall in that trap.
You guys are funny.
We're waiting. We're just waiting for you. You're fine, no, you're fine, you're fine. It's just hard not to talk.
It's usually me, so.
Thanks, so we should have a motion.
So do we need a new dollar amount for this? No.
When you word your motion, you make sure to say it's just an estimate.
Okay, a motion to approve the estimate from Aaron Bobar for the front door of the town hall currently at 5189.
I second.
Further discussion. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay. So, town garage cameras. Jason said he wasn't able to. We had some security type cameras. They're not expensive stuff, but just keep an eye on things up there, and he wasn't able to get things to work for him and go over so it would record to his phone or whatever. And so he went out and got two new cameras, put them up, and I forget what bill was it, around $100 or something. like that.
212.
Yeah.
212.
It's.
Okay. And his research, trying to get everything to work up there, it's come to light that the internet box, which you gotta have to run these things is outdated and it won't work well enough to make the camera on the further end of the building work. So we've gotta get some outfit to update.
Okay. Comcast provides that to us, so we can call them and ask them to come out and look at it and get it updated. And maybe get an extender. I do know the IT guy is gonna come here on Thursday to do something for the assessor's computer. And I could ask him to take a look at it. If they need a booster, a candle, there's a candle.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. That'd be great.
That'd be great, thank you.
And so I've got the 2 old cameras in my truck. I don't know where you wanna store them. I don't want the damn things. Somebody may eventually be able to figure them out.
You can bring them in. We'll set them up as decoration, and I'm supposed to have a camera on the ballot box. I have a camera. It's I make sure it's loaded when we are doing, I make sure it's
active.
Charged.
Thank you. Charged when we have ballots.
Okay, number 14. Structures and paving grants. Megan from DOT was in, and in the small town we are, we get assistance with paving once every 10 years. And so I guess we've got to fill out the structures grant and detail what we wanna do. And she wrote it up so that it will do the Chester Mountain Road off the bottom. They always used to do half one time and half the other time, but the companies are charging mobilization charges and they're not cheap. So it only makes sense to do it from top to bottom. In the meantime, Patty should send her a email and ask her about the robot camera that we've got to put through some of the
Culverts, right, you talked about that last.
Robot camera.
There's I won't call it spaghetti mess, but there's 3 or 4 cameras right there between the hub and the marketplace. And they all connect to one another, and then they go down to where it goes across the road between marketplace and Harris Plumbing Shop. And to my knowledge, they've never been touched. Now, if they're cement, they'd probably still be good. If they're metal, well, there's a project.
So Denny, do I send her an email, just, will she know if I send her an email asking about the robot cameras? Will she know?
Yeah, for the paving, and
Paving? Okay,
we may need some help writing that structures grant.
okay.
I've never wrote one. Usually been the road for me.
We'll be able to get in touch with Wyndham Regional Commission to help us write those grants. Is that possible?
You could ask a question.
I'm sorry.
As I said, we could possibly get in touch with Wyndham Regional Commission
Oh, yeah,
to ask about
Sean
help,
said something about.
to ask about help with writing the grants.
Okay.
As I mentioned to the government, Jim and I met with Megan, and I forget the guy's name, an engineer. And he looked at the 3 bridges on Greendale and with some proper maintenance, he figures we can get another 40 years of them.
Greendale?
Those 3 bridges. And
Wow.
wanna listen to this one, folks?
Oh, all right.
The bridge that goes at the corner of Jenny Coolidge and Greendale Road. We are underneath that, looking around and stuff. And he said, to replace this bridge today would be $2.5 million. And the bridge is smaller than they want to replace up here. So before they go starting that, they better be looking for some more money. Because they don't have to taper down the side bank or anything up there. But he said with proper maintenance, we should be able to get another 40. That's pretty good being as they were put there 30.
So all three of those you're saying, okay.
All three will be able to last for 50 years if we keep maintenance up on them, except
That's his estimate.
that's his estimate. Right?
And he's also going right up a scope of work for the short bridge on Kyle Road. Then what we can do there, he suggested cutting a tree on the further side of the bridge, kind of shifting the road over a little bit, so when the trucks come down, they don't have to stop, back up, and get angled to come onto the bridge. It's a bad angle. That'll be coming down the pike.
Okay.
Oh, let's see, number 16.
On 15, you had new land. Was there any update on the new land?
That I spoke to the engineer that I thought was interested in handling her coming down and told them we had a meeting tonight, and this is the second time we haven't heard anything, so I'll find out. If they're not gonna do anything, we'll look for somebody else.
Okay.
I think we've got 3 sets of minutes here.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the first one, Patty,
Yep.
we
Which
have
one is that?
April 14th, 6 PM.
Yep, 6 PM.
So you have, I think there's 2 or 3 people that are on both listed as Zoom and public, so,
I was on Zoom. Everyone else is in public.
yeah. I don't know.
Dwayne and Melissa were
Correct,
here.
they were not, they might have been on Zoom, right,
Yeah,
but
they
they
were
weren't in
on Zoom,
public.
so I didn't know if I had to list them as both because they were public and they were on Zoom.
No, so in this case, public means physically here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
What
they are
about,
public, but I understand what you're saying, but
Okay.
but Patty has herself on Zoom.
were you on Zoom for this, Patty? No.
No, I wasn't on Zoom.
So-
Well, I was on camera.
Oh, you
And
were
I just-
here.
Oh,
yeah,
you were
I
here.
was
Okay, so you just
Okay, you
take
don't
your
need to
name
list
out.
yourself.
Yeah, you
That's
don't,
out.
no,
Nope,
Nope.
nope. So just those that you brought into
Okay.
from, admitted into the room.
Okay.
Right, and I agree that Dwayne and Melissa Hart were not definitely in public, and I don't know if they were on Zoom that night, so I had to go
Yeah,
back
they
and
were.
look.
They were.
Okay.
Okay.
So in public, then okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to take your.
And then you need to take your name out of the public too.
Because no one was physically here that night.
Yeah.
Everybody was on Zoom.
What about Kim? We need to take Kim out of the public too. No?
Right, everything needs. to be
Everything,
on
okay,
public.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll sign that when we get corrected sheet.
Yep.
Page 2 say draft.
The second one is, I had the same observation for the 7:20 liquor control meeting, Denny.
Mhm.
I saw the same thing, so we have to correct that Zoom in public.
I will correct that too, because I probably did it on all of them.
Yeah,
Probably all.
no
have
problem.
corrected.
Yep.
So we'll wait for next meeting to do all that.
Yeah, and if we're waiting anyway, then Patty, I'll just go over for that last one for the 7:30 PM. I've got a few other changes, so we'll go over one-on-one.
Perfect.
Yep. Let's do the same on the 17th, right? Then
Yeah,
we'll make- let's make
there-
a lot of changes.
There's a lot of changes
I've
that need
got
to be making on this April
I've got
17th one as well.
I'll go over them with Patty.
Okay.
And of course, you're welcome to too.
I
didn't
will,
mean to-
I
didn't mean to cut
would
you off
love
there.
to come and do it.
That AI thing can be helpful, but it's not the best.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay, we put down payroll. That amount is gonna be $17,092.45.
Okay, motion to approve check warrant, payroll check warrant number 8, is that correct, right?
Yeah.
17,092.45.
I second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
We have accounts payable, added in deposit for the painting. Comes to $34,339.81.
Wait, 34,000 what?
$339.81.
Thank you.
I also had included in a deposit for the door. On the off chance that you did it.
I saw that in the 2,400,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
2,500, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve check warrant number 8 in the amount of $34,339.81. Vendor check warrant.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded it?
Oh, I second.
Okay.
Onto the menu.
That's fine.
Thank you. When you're not coming in for a jump. Nobody wants to come in. I don't call you the one. Oh, no, have you got in? Oh, I remember. Yeah, no, that was funny.
Martha? When you walk in, and she asks you how you are, you just say day by day, and now I'll keep her quiet.
I will, because I have no response to that, and I keep, after almost 12 years, I keep asking him, how you doing? Day by day. I used to be able to catch myself in that.
Anybody got anything on their old business?
We had a phone call with regard to the one remaining buyout. Got an email about it. It's someone, it's an organization internally, Vermont, something or other. Who wanted to reach out to the owner because they had grant money to help buy out properties, clean up and do some of the final work to have that completed. And I said, well, we've got we're working with FEMA and there's some environmental stuff that was being looked at. She said they are a state agency that helps to oversee that, so there isn't the duplication, but it would help move it forward. And so we put her in touch with the owner.
Okay.
But I thought it was helpful to have another organization that might step forward and help process whatever is holding that back. I told her I thought it was environmental and.
Yeah, that's where I remember it being left off, right? Yeah.
Well, I suspect there's probably a septic tank there and maybe an oil tank.
Right, so we were putting them in touch, but I was relieved to know there wasn't gonna be duplication of effort because a lot had already been done. And then maybe it could help bring it to conclusion.
Okay, great, thank you.
That would be great. What was that organization again? Or it was just
It's a state
it was a state
organization.
organization?
Patty has the email and I
Okay, no rush.
have it printed out.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you see it. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear it. That was my old business. We did get our draft audit done and I gave it to Greg Carroll to look at and he and I are gonna talk about it tomorrow or Thursday. They reiterated many things that they've said in the past, including that I need somebody to look at the journal entries and every clever idea I've had for someone to look at those has just not really panned out. So it's still out there and I am open to suggestions.
I remember this discussion last year and it was right, there was someone that needed to understand. It was like an accounting type person is who we were looking for, right?
Yeah, and Greg was going to try, but you know, last year was the reassessment and he's just got an awful lot on his plate personally as well as things here. So I don't know what to do.
Okay, I gotta come up with the proper word. I'll call it apprentice.
An apprentice? Okay.
Touch base with a college that teaches accounting.
Okay.
And usually in their senior year, I don't know if it's for accounting too, but I know the field my daughter was in, marketing. She ended up in Disney working for them for 6 months in marketing.
An intern.
Internship, yeah. And find out if they've got anything like it that they monitor or something, you know, they come in, take a look at things and then report back to the
like having workforce
professor, teacher.
experience.
I mean, it's worth a try.
It's worth a try. Otherwise, I was gonna volunteer Brian.
With my big accounting background.
I don't know. I gotta come up with something.
I would be happy to look at it with you and see if it's something I'm comfortable with. I mean, you know, I'm certainly comfortable with P&Ls and,
Okay.
you know.
They want somebody internally. They want a whole
I want
bunch of-
someone internally.
Right, they still want a bunch of policies done, and I thought that we had done a bunch of policies, so I need to reach back out to the auditor and
You
say,
guys had done a whole bunch.
why don't these work?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that was just a boilerplate that maybe didn't get changed. Yeah, I'm not gonna write a response to it until we have a good plan in place. Okay, that's where we're at, but I'll look into Denny's suggestion as well.
Thank
you,
Good
Kim.
suggestion, yeah, those schools
Great
sometimes have
suggestion.
good people.
Trucks.
Oh, yeah, trucks.
We have a new one on order, but the way I understand it, it's not supposed to be here for 2 years. The truck would be here, but the body wouldn't be built and put on it. And that would be another tandem. The 6-wheeler that, it's my phone. The 6-wheeler that, we're gonna replace, they took it down to the shop today and rough estimate is it's gonna need, quite a lot of work to the transmission, the bell housing, the clutch, and maybe some work internal on the transmission. And there's also an oil leak that they haven't found yet. So you're probably looking at a bill somewhere around 15-20,000. I'm just guessing, but I know transmission for a car costs about $6,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're gonna do anything, I'm just gonna present some facts to you. Boys, there's a Ford garage down there, and they come to me all excited. Well, they didn't read all the paperwork. But there's a truck down there sitting on the lot. Like their little red one. They only looked at the window sticker. It was 40 or 75,000. That sounded awful good, not thinking about it. And I said, yeah, that's just for the cab and the chassis. Then the plow, the wing, dump body is extra. So the time you add all that, you can put a one in front of that 75, and then that's where you're at. We just put, I don't know, 2 springs and Almond's labor was, but that had to be 2,500.
Yeah, you spend a chunk of change, it should be on the paperwork, isn't it? But-
And you got them. No.
Oh, yeah. Is that was Westminster or?
Well, a little bit of both.
Then I might not. We spent a lot of money lately.
I don't see it here.
Okay, it might be.
And they sent a letter out and said they're gonna have 6 of these trucks by mid-October, ready for delivery. First come, first served basis. So I'm not saying we gotta do anything. You can think about it.
And you're saying that I think I heard you say put a 1 in front of that 75
175,000
for all of the add-ons.
Yeah.
So this would be to replace the red truck,
Yeah,
and the one that's coming in 2 years is
to replace the yellow
to
6-wheeler.
replace the yellow, okay.
And I had them look it up. I think the red one we got now was right around 150.
And that was how many years ago? 5 years, that was 6 years ago, right?
24.
Okay. Oh, 2 years.
So it's something you can think about, and we'll put it back on the agenda for next time around. And maybe if it's just coming out warranty, so we shouldn't have paid that much out of pocket on it. So something to think about.
The current truck is 2024.
The small red one.
That's the one we'd be replacing with this? No.
Yeah.
So just 2 years old.
They have a 22,
That would be Huey's, I believe.
and that's a big truck.
I'm just saying that seems,
Like pretty,
yeah, 2 years old.
like a
doesn't
rapid
seem-
decline in 2 years.
Is that, I don't know.
Or is that
What's
just,
normal?
Well,
is it like, are we on a 5-year wear and tear cycle?
that's not carved in stone, but
Okay,
none of it helped like the little truck. It's underpowered for one thing. And of course, maybe underpowered because they might put a little more sand on it than they should.
okay.
But it's just something to think about.
Okay.
Consider maybe I can have a little more information, but this just got done to me about 11 o'clock today.
Okay.
It'd be
Gotcha.
nice to see like numbers
Yeah.
and
Right.
everything, like how old things are and.
Like a
how much
breakdown
we-
of the years
Yeah.
and the estimate of like when we're getting.
Plus, we
yeah.
have to bear
It's
in
like,
mind that
I know it in my head, but I can't
we've
really.
got other equipment coming online, so you look at the book and, oh, you got X amount of dollars in the equipment fund, but you've got that 10-wheeler coming.
That we've committed to, yeah.
Yeah, we're committed to it. I haven't looked at the schedule, but I hate to say it, but that loader might be coming up here pretty soon.
To Pam's point, it would be great to have, like a,
Like a crib
one-
sheet, like a
one-sheeter
breakdown.
of all the equipment, the year we have it, when we think it,
I think we
what
got
we have.
that someplace.
Like a replacement schedule. type
Yeah,
thing.
right, exactly.
Jim may have that in his capital.
Jim made up a schedule, cause he went to the extent of projecting inflation and
Yeah.
everything.
Cool.
Very cool.
On this 5, 10, 15 year rotation. And come up with the amount of money that we have to put in the equipment fund.
Right.
But you also gotta remember that when you got a 5, 10, 15 year rotation. If you run it out far enough. All of a sudden, you're gonna get a bunch of them in 1 year.
Right. You don't wanna do that.
You're gonna, well, that's the way the numbers work. I mean,
Yeah.
you take a 5 year, a 10 year, and a 15, and you run them out there far enough. Sooner or later, some of them are gonna bunch
Overlap.
together. They'll still be their 5 and 10 year rotation, but they all just happen to land in that 1 year.
Okay.
I'm not looking for another project, but I can put together what the trucks are that we have, what we paid for it, in what year, and maybe get the guys to give me their mileage on them and.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Okay.
If that's
I
what Jim
think I
doesn't
can-
already have, I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Jim-
He hasn't updated it, he did it.
I'll
Okay.
check with them too.
It'd be great.
Thank you, Kim.
And
Another thing for you to do.
Then the grader. It's got 1,000 hours on it, and they're saying that it needs a 1,000 hour service from John Deere. And that's not gonna be cheap.
What is the timeline on that?
1,000 hour service?
No, like we can just call and get it in, or is like,
Yeah.
there's like a waiting time?
I don't know how long the waiting is on it.
Okay.
Depends how much repair work they've got down there.
Can Jason?
Things just getting started, I would think they shouldn't have too much repair work, but if you were to do it in the middle of summer, then they might have a lot of repair work after people been busting things up, but I think it's something the book recommends, and I think we just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's under warranty?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
That's why I said it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
Well, let's have Jason reach out.
And then, Kim just threw these up. I got a lot of paperwork.
Sorry.
This is cash flow.
Great.
Yeah.
One of Jim and that one.
So this is the school education tax bill. We pay ours in 2 installments. The first one that's due in June is for the new year, new fiscal year. And then we pay one in December, and I hope I don't have that backwards. Anyway, so it's $1 million roughly, which we have set aside. We have it as a liability on our balance sheet. $337 short, and I didn't think that was too bad. It wasn't 30,000.
Yeah.
It was 300. So one thing that we do for Pam's benefit is that we always generally borrow from ourselves to pay that bill. Because while we have money in the bank, a lot of it right now is special funds. And so we borrow from the special funds in order to get through the summer. It's called the tax anticipation note, which you may have heard of. And I will bring to you on the next meeting the cash flow that tells how much we're gonna be short and ask for funding, and we usually fund it from ourselves.
Okay.
And it's likely to be $200,000 or $300,000. But that's what we do. And then we pay ourselves back and we pay ourselves interest.
Thank you.
Pay it on time.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Mark. Sorry I messed up your name.
And one last thing. if, somebody's serious and, thinks I've done a real bad job through this mess we've been through, want this seat, I can have it.
Didn't want for that.
Thank you for your service.
I didn't feel that way.
Always have distractors and have to deal with them.
Do we have more?
Anybody got anything else?
Jenny, Mr. Chairman? Just a follow-up from your agenda. I just wanted to confirm, number 4 seemed to have gotten spoken about kind of at the beginning of the meeting, and they were sort of over talk and some shuffling, and I don't know if you're postponing it to the next meeting, which is totally fine with me. I just saw that there was some sort of a progress report to be given, and I was hoping to address that under old business, new business, not sure.
Okay, I believe that the people that handed us the complaints were sent emails and letters, and then it was posted on the town's website, is that correct?
No, the emails and letters addressing them we responded, Lisa, we responded formally to the complaints.
On
At
Saturday.
our special meeting on
At
Saturday.
On
a
Saturday.
special- Yep, at a special meeting on Saturday, and we formally responded to the complainants via email and letter.
I thought it was supposed to be put on their website too.
One of the things that we agreed to that was put on the website was that we put in an updated version of the laws the laws for going into executive session.
Oh, that's what it was.
Right, and so that is on the website as well.
And then at our next meeting, we are doing the training and adopting the policy.
On the 12th.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
Now that meeting on the 16th, it's gonna be at 6:30, and we're gonna have it on this,
Zoom.
on Zoom. Select board will be here in the room, and it's open to the public, I guess.
Sure.
Is that the 16th or the
Is it the
12th?
12th? That's what I
It's
thought.
May 12th, I believe.
May 12th, it's not the 16th.
No,
No?
May 12th
Yeah.
Yeah, May
May
12th.
at 6:30.
May 12th at 6:30.
May 12th at 6:30.
We'll take a copy of the contract that I need to pay.
I guess other than that, we're adjourned.
Oh, I make a motion. I second? No, you always say that. Sorry. You can just adjourn us. I forgot.
Oh, really? We don't have to move to adjourn?
No, I didn't. I always forget that. Yeah.
This is where things get a little tough. We voted years ago to operate under Robert's rules.
Mhm.
So that's what we've been doing. And a vote came up that didn't go somebody's way, so they went digging. Vermont statutes counteract from Robert's rules.
Mm.
I said after the meeting.
Okay.
I just need a copy of the contract for the painting, so I can pay the.
Got it.
So, yes,
Can I stop?
yep, you can stop recording.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Recording stopped.
And you can take people, you can just shut it down, right? So you go to end, right? Yeah, you got that. Yep, and end,